some scary movie.
Like scary movies?
Uh-huh.
What's your favorite scary movie?
Look at me, Damien. It's all for you.
Kill her, Mommy. Kill her.
We all go a little mad sometimes.
This is my boomstick. Here's Johnny.
I have to return some videotapes. We'll tear your soul apart.
Hello and welcome to All Things Horror, the podcast that reviews horror movies, both old and new. I'm Ben and I'm joined here with Matt, and we're going to have a brief spoiler-free chat about today's movie before we go through the plot in a bit more detail. Then, as always, we'll finish off with our own personal ratings. So today's movie is House from 1985, and it's directed by Steve Miner and produced by Sean S. Cunningham.
Oh, yes.
Got a decent cast as well, actually. Like, you don't realise it, but obviously, like, William Katt, but George Wendt, who is, was it Norm from Cheers?
Yeah. Jason, what's he called? Comedian. Oh, my word, what's it called? My mind's gone blank again now. Jason, the guy who is the American football coach. Hank, not Hank. Oh, why's my mind gone completely? Oh, right. Start again.
Who's that?
Oh, what's wrong with my brain? I've watched the first two series of this as well.
1985.
If you show this, it would literally Jason Sudeikis.
Jason Sudeikis, where are you?
Is his uncle? Is it George Wendt's uncle? Ted Lasso. That's what it is. Yeah, George Wendt is Ted Lasso's uncle. Yeah, that's what I was trying to get out, but I don't know. My mind just wouldn't. My words wouldn't come together.
Did you recognise the guy who plays? I think his name is Ben. Big Ben. His name is Richard Moll.
Mm-hmm.
Because it took me forever to figure out where he was from, and he's in Scary Movie 2, and that's where I recognised him from. Remember, like that scene in Scary Movie 2 where the guy in the wheelchair is having a race with the ghost guy in the wheelchair down the corridor, and then they smash out the window at the end. I was going to say
vaguely.
Richard Moll. He's the guy that plays the ghost.
Right, because the last time I saw that was in the cinema, so that's probably like 24 years ago.
Oh god! Yeah.
So I don't remember. I remember Chris Elliott's character with the hand.
Oh yeah.
But yeah. So I mean, it's a good cast. It's a good grounding of like people involved in it, the music and the directors. You've got lots of Jason connections. You've got a few Friday the 13th connections beyond that. You've got sorry, did I say Jason and Friday the 13th? Sorry, Halloween connection. Steve Miner went on and did a Halloween as well.
Yeah.
There's some no. Oh my word, what's going on with my brain today?
Yeah.
There's some. Yeah, but I keep saying Friday the 13th and I'm trying to say Nightmare on Elm Street.
Oh.
So yeah, there's more to it. I was trying to I got William Katt and Nicky Katt mixed up. So I was watching this with somebody and I was talking about how I used to watch William Katt in The Greatest American Hero, which you are far too young to remember, but it was like a kind of made-for-TV American superhero, and he was the main character with the blonde curly hair, and the music for it is just amazing. The theme song was amazing. It's like, believe it or not, I'm working on it. That one. It's really good. Anyway, that is William Katt. But all the way through watching this, I kept saying Nicky Katt because there's another actor who passed away recently called Nicky Katt, who's been in films like Boiler Room and stuff like that. So I was kind of putting all of his movies together into one because they were both called Katt. But this Katt is from Carrie and well, for me, the greatest American hero. So I was like, yeah, it's really cool. So it's got a lot of good people in it. I was like, last time I watched it, didn't really do it for me. I wasn't really interested. I watched them all. I got the box set. I watched them all. I was just like, This time, I think I got a lot more out of it. I enjoyed it a lot more. I actually really did enjoy it a lot more than I did the first time I watched it years ago. So that's pretty cool.
The box that you've got?
It was like not as nice looking as that. It was just a kind of plastic, like a plasticky looking thing.
It's a decent book set. It's just a shame I don't really like all the others except for the first one.
yeah, but I suppose it's one of those, isn't it? You want to have them all.
I didn't even realise that there was 4 in them until I got the box set. I was looking out for a house DVD because this is a
house
film,
hunting.
Yeah. Like this is a film that my dad taped off the TV on VHS like years and this is probably like one of my first 5 horrors I ever saw. Like it's it takes me right back when I watch it. But I never actually had it as a physical copy on DVD. It was on video. It was only ever taped off the TV. So I've never actually seen a copy and I was hunting for it and I couldn't find it anywhere. Then all of a sudden I was in CEX, the buy sell store for all our listeners. But yeah, like I saw it and now I was like, oh my God. And then I was like, no, wait, they did 4? There's 4.
Yeah. There's so many films like that. And you're like,
and I was really disappointed.
Yeah, and they tend to get worse as they go along.
Yeah. I mean, I love the first, but the rest, you can't even call it like sequels to all of them because they don't really carry on. Like, there's nothing to do with all the rest of them. Like 2 and 3, I don't think have any ties whatsoever to the first movie, other than it is a haunted house. The 4th, I think, refers to William Katt's character, but I think that's about it.
Yeah, I like the fact that he's like there's some humor to be found. There's something interesting to be found in him being like a horror writer, a kind of a Stephen King, or in The Mouth of Madness, like Sutter Kane kind of writer. They seem to. I think we're at height of like everyone, well, obviously a lot of Stephen King films had been very popular in the late 70s and early 80s to mid 80s, or they continue to be popular, but we're certainly at the height of people buying all the books as well. So there's a little bit of humor there because you've also got like those horror writers that were all popular at the time, like Dean Koontz and Stephen King, that were kind of around this. So like with Roger being this writer, it adds an extra layer of like humor and creativity, and makes his character a little bit more interesting. Like some of them, like he's a celebrity, so they let him get away with some stuff that they wouldn't normally let a normal person get away with, which is quite funny. Like he could literally have a smoking gun and they're like, oh, what are you doing? So I'm just cleaning my gun, like and you're like, oh, okay, can I have your autograph? There's a bit of that. and like Harold's a bit like that too, where like George Wendt's character, he's kind of very accepting of some of the absolute nuts stuff that's going on. Like I said, I got a lot more out of it this time. There's more sort of layers to it. There's a few moments that I totally forgot what was happening and was like, oh wow. It's a good time for horror. You've got a lot of practical effects around this time. You've got people who had success with low budget stuff, say like John Carpenter or Cunningham and people like that, and they've been given a little bit more money to do other things. We're kind of around Nightmare on Elm Street time as well. So like it's a good fun film though, isn't it? It's not like a miserable film. It's not like a dark, like with spooky house films. You expect them to sometimes be so dark you can't tell what's going on,
Yeah.
but not with this one.
But I mean, this must have been like one of the early starters of the comedy horror genre. Like being, what did I say? It was 85. Because I
Yeah,
know the 80s, that's where, I mean, you do get a lot of comedy horrors, but I thought it was more mid to late. I'm thinking like Gremlins, Critters, Ghoulies, all of
yeah,
those were, it's not so much about the horror, it's more about the fun
yeah.
silliness of it as well.
I suppose you've got this is around the time of Reanimator and Basket Case. Again, low budget ones that would be classed as comedy horrors.
Yeah.
But they're just kind of more low budget. Whereas, like, I don't know, it was a nice period where they're scary enough to be horror films, but they're funny enough to be comedy films, and they kind of just hit a really good sort of sweet spot. Like the writer Fred Dekker wrote the Monster Squad, so he's trying to do the same sort of thing with that later on. It's strange actually, the weird stuff that he wrote, because he did Monster Squad in 87. He didn't really have anything to do with the second House film other than inspired by. We know that means absolutely nothing. He did he wrote Night of the Creeps and he directed Night of the Creeps, which I would say has some comedy elements, and it's like a B movie, comedy horror. And then a very more family friendly one, The Monster Squad, with classic horror figures. So he's got. And that was written by Shane Black, who went on and did a lot of similar kind of Lethal Weapon style stuff and Predator. And he didn't write Predator, but he was in Predator. But he wrote a lot more sort of quick fire, funny stuff. So I think Fred Dekker is somebody who's got that ability to make a funny horror film as a writer. And then you've got Cunningham, who's Sean S. Cunningham, who's obviously bringing along the music of Harry Manfredini, and different things like that. Steve Miner, who's went on to do Halloween, H2O. Before that, he did loads. But he's still doing stuff now. Really, he's done a lot of TV, tons of TV, like just anything from the 90s, 2000s TV shows that were popular. Steve Miner directed them. He did Warlock. I don't know if you ever saw Warlock.
I know of it. I don't think I've seen that.
Richard E. Grant, Julian Sands. That's a pretty fun kind of fish out of water stuff. He did Soul Man, but he did Friday the 13th Part 3 and 2.
Who's that? Steve Miner.
Steve Miner, yeah. So like him and Sean S. Cunningham must have had a really good relationship.
Yeah, because you tend to hear both of those guys' names together quite a lot. Sean S. Cunningham and Steve Miner. I'm thinking like budget wise, because this being 85, this is a few years into their profession in filmmaking now. So that is actually, what was it, 3 million for the budget, which is I would say a decent budget for horror in the 80s. I'm just trying to think what the budget was for the first Friday the 13th.
It'd be next to nothing, I'd imagine.
Yeah, because when was that? 1981. So I seem to remember the Friday the 13th genre. They literally did it year after year after year. So it wouldn't, they're probably on there like fourth or fifth.
Oh, they're just such a moneymaker.
So if Sean S. Cunningham, if he had, a few really heavy hitting movies under his belt already by then, and he's the one that produced this one, then that explains the 3 mil. But then the box office for this really shocked me because it was 22.1 mil.
Right.
And
I remember people talking about it at school when I was a kid. So I'd have been 6.
Right.
So I remember kids. There was always those kids who, young, like, you're about 6, 7 years old, and they've seen all of them, like Freddy and Nightmare, and all of these films. So I remember kids saying, "Oh, have you seen House?" And like, I remember all the way through school people talking about them in that same sort of company. So I think that there was definitely like a video market for them. I don't know how well it did at the cinema in the UK, but I think it was a bit of a hit in America. Bearing in mind, you got George Wendt, who, I'm not sure if he's probably in the middle of, I know it doesn't sound like a big name or anything, but like Cheers was an absolute juggernaut of success. So yeah, it's interesting. I mentioned about Fred Dekker writing this, and like, oh, he's done other sort of things with humor in them. I remember looking at my notes, and apparently he didn't want it to be humorous. He wanted it to be a straight out horror film, but the other writers made it, put the jokes and the funny stuff in.
Oh wow! Oh, okay.
Yeah,
that is
so I was like, so I was surprised that, because I thought, oh, if he's done Monster Squad and he's done Night of the Creeps, like, he's quite happy to do tongue-in-cheek stuff. But no, this was changed quite a lot from the idea. Apparently it was, again, a bit like when we talked about John Carpenter wanting to move a successful film and then move it into like an anthology so that other people could do it under that name. I think that was the plan all along with this, which I guess if what we kind of got, because the films are not really that connected, are they? So
no. Yeah, other than them being about a house, which it has to being called House. So yeah, I don't think there's any ties. Do you know what? Do you know what film beat this in the box office to number one in America? 85. I don't know. Would like to see.
It was Pretty in Pink.
Oh well, okay. I would never.
But not by a lot though. It wasn't, apparently there wasn't a lot in it. It could have. It didn't. I don't think it's got to number one in America, but it should have. It was very, very close. And again, it's another one of them where we're in the mid-80s and we're still referencing Vietnam and the things that the nightmares and what we would call PTSD now.
Yeah,
like this is the thing, isn't it? Like, people go, oh, like, he always, it's they'd be calling it woke now, because he's talking about him dealing with his demons and struggling with things from the past and things like that. But they just didn't, it's crazy. It's still, because it's not that, like, we're talking 5, 6, 7 years ago. It's not very long, really, is it? It's like the difference between 2020 and 2025.
Yeah, when you put it that way.
Yeah, it's like if me and you were in a war 5 years ago, I'm sure we'd still be talking about it. Especially if it was one like that. So it makes the character really interesting. It makes him quite, like, I wonder if that's how he got the ideas for his horror books as well.
Yeah,
the things he's been through, and obviously you get the flashbacks. I was going to ask you what you made of the flashbacks, because sometimes it's difficult when they try and make something and there's only like a couple of minutes of them going through a jungle or what have you. Sometimes it looks a bit humorous because it doesn't look very realistic. But I don't know, what did you think of all that, the flashback stuff?
To be honest, I found everything about this humorous. Even the most serious bits. I'm just waiting for the gag. And I'm trying to find the difference between what's supposed to be funny and what's supposed to be like when you get the big swordfish on the wall. I'm not sure if that's supposed to be.
Yeah, I was thinking about that, like Billy Bass.
All of a sudden, like, the eye moves, and then out of nowhere it just begins flapping. So I wonder.
I wonder if the fish thing, because obviously, do you remember when people had Billy Bass and it would sing? They had the same thing, as the face would flap out.
My dad's got one in his shed.
Yeah, well, that's it. Like, they were so popular, everybody wanted one.
Yeah,
and I thought, when I saw this, I was like, I wonder if that's where they got the idea from. I guess I suppose what my point about the Vietnam thing was that maybe this is around the time when movies were not showing the war as being like a glorious success. They were kind of like talking about, people having a negative experience rather than like your traditional American movies from say the 80s and before, where everything that the Americans did in wars was amazing and wonderful and successful. Like, this is where you can kind of see Roger unraveling a bit. Yes, he unravels in a bit of a funny way, but it's still him unraveling because of the things that a lot of the people watching the movie at home will have been through as well. So it's interesting. It's a good film, though. There's more layers to it than I first thought.
Yeah. The thing is, as well, I think my only downside to this film, but again, it's not really a down. I don't know. It just seems everything, like mainly the flashbacks and like the ending. I won't go into the spoilers, but everything that kind of takes place kind of outside the house or in certain bits of the house, you can clearly tell, okay, this is a set. Like, this is just a set piece. Like the
the jungle,
Vietnam. I mean, we're talking about, Sean S. Cunningham and Steve Miner, the guys that are responsible for Friday the 13th, like the very first one, taking place in the woods, and you're in the woods, and it's so clear what it is. And then you jump in 4 years later, and you got these, and you're like, okay, well, this is just a set design, and it's so clear. But I'm not sure if that just kind of adds to the, I don't know, slockiness.
I don't know really, because they obviously know how to make a movie and get the most out of it with the money they've got. I feel like everything's invested in the practical effects of everything going on inside the house, or around the house set itself. They try to keep the cost down, so everybody in it, like I said, how not Nicky Katt. Oh my word, I've done it again.
William
Katt is from The Greatest American Hero, and George Wendt's from Cheers, and so like most of the actors, in fact all of the actors, the main ones were from like TV shows rather than movies. Keep the money down. So like, there's, even though it was a relatively, I don't know if it is, probably with inflation now it would be quite a big budget. It's probably not comparing to other movies that were coming out at the time. Be interesting to see what, say, the budget of, say, for example, what the budget of Pretty in Pink that came out exactly the same time, which didn't have any special effects, was just, but it was a John Hughes film. So obviously it was a big deal because he'd had a lot of success. So let's have a look. So the budget of Pretty in Pink that came out at the same time was $9 million.
All right.
And it made 40.5. So that cost $9 million, and essentially it's just teenagers talking. So this, they squeezed a lot out of it. And what did you say the budget of this was? 2-3 million or something?
This one was 3
million. So they had to squeeze a lot
out
of that 3 million. And I can see, I think it's always hard for whatever reason. If you're only doing a small amount in a jungle or whatever, it always looks cheesy or always looks a bit corny and I don't know why that is, whether it's because it's like, we're doing such a small amount in here, we can't really invest in taking them off to a real jungle somewhere, so we'll use this forest or whatever. It's like stuff was added afterwards, like jokes were added afterwards, like the fish thing I think was added afterwards. So it's a bit all over the place, actually, when you look at it, how it's slotted together. But actually, I think it all comes together quite well.
But then it's like we always say, sometimes less is more.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I need to look this up. Friday the 13th budget is...
So you're saying they had too much money? All right.
$500,000 was Friday the 13th. And that was like, what, 4 years earlier.
Yeah.
And it's perfect. I don't know. It's just sometimes like literally minimal. Oh, how can we make this look like we're actually in the woods, not the forest. Oh no, go to the forest. Like,
Yeah, I think that's it. I think you're probably right. Sometimes having a bit more money is not always the best for some of these creators because they're so good at kind of thinking outside of the box to get things to look good that when they have the money, they don't really know what to do with it. They throw the money at the screen and you feel like, oh, you didn't need to do that. Oh, I didn't need to be in it.
yeah.
I always use Stuart Gordon as an example, but we could talk about Frank Henenlotter. We could talk about all of Sean Cunningham's films, really. And that's why they would always have like lots of releases and lots of, sequels and stuff, because people making the movies, they don't want to have to give loads of money to people. They want to make loads of money.
Yes.
So the idea that you can trust, once you've got an idea, you can trust this person, they're going to be successful, whether it's Stuart Gordon or whoever, you're going to get a lot of money back for what you've invested. So I think that's pretty cool in a way.
Yeah. Right. Shall we hit the spoiler warning and start talking through this plot?
Yeah.
Cool.
Spoiler warning.
All right. So the movie starts off with famous author Roger Cobb. He's visiting his Aunt Elizabeth. His son suddenly vanishes, and she says that the house took him. We later see Aunt Elizabeth. She hangs herself, and when the house is left to Roger, he decides to move in whilst he works on his new book, which is about his experiences during the Vietnam War. And then we see various flashbacks throughout, like his war friend Ben getting wounded and begging for Roger to kill him. But he couldn't, and he fled for safety, leaving Ben to be tortured to death, leaving Roger with survivor's guilt.
Big Ben.
Yeah, which I think that last bit is probably like the most serious out of all the bits in the movie. Well, his son vanishing and Ben dying. They're probably most the two things that aren't funny.
I would say being when the wife gets shot in the face as well.
Oh yeah, and that one.
Because I'd forgotten about that, and I was just like, oh, okay, he's murdering his wife now. So like, and the person I was watching it with was like, don't get too excited, she'll be fine. And I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. I mean, we've literally kind of just spoken about this, but like, if this was a serious movie with zero humor, like you said he wanted it to be, then it would actually be a really dark movie. Like, think about it. Like, your main character has PTSD from the war. His son seems to have like drowned in a pool, but vanishes somewhere. His wife leaves him. His auntie hangs herself. Then on top of that, the haunted house that he starts living in is tormenting him and like driving him to insanity. So
it would be a bit more Amityville, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
it'd be a bit more like the Amityville. It'd be because there's no real humor in that, is there?
No, not really. But yeah, I mean, chuck some jokes and some silly sounds and a good score over it that's fun, then all of a sudden you got yourself a comedy horror.
It helps George Wendt there as well. Like he makes a big difference, I think, for the humor side of it.
Yeah. What's the bit like when he's setting up traps in the room to catch that thing that's in the closet, and he runs out screaming on his knees, just like in all of his war gear.
Yeah,
George Wendt's character is just standing there in front of him and, hey, what's up, bud?
He hasn't got like a pizza or pizza and beer or something. He's like, I wish I had a neighbor like that. It'd be awesome. Just like, yeah.
Yeah. I think that scene as well with the monster that comes out the closet. I mean, you do get this in a lot of low budget films, so I'm sure they kind of like made a lot of contraptions up. But I think you can actually see the wires that it comes out on. Like,
yes,
some kind of thing, and it's like shoof, comes straight out, and you can see the wires or the tracks that it's on.
Yeah, Yeah. It's the bits where he's coming in and out. I like that. I like that kind of because remember what was that film we watched? Where the kid was going was it called Imaginary?
Yeah.
See, that's how to do this wrong. Like that's like how to do it without any creativity or fun or color or light or anything. And I bet you Imaginary cost a lot more money than House did comparatively.
Definitely.
It's just crazy. Like, yeah, there's the thing is, like spooky house stuff. The problem is, and this is what I don't like, is that, and I've probably said this before, is the lighting side of things. It's like if you're inside a house, then a lot of films you just can't see what's going on, and they're deliberately wandering around in the dark. Well, like we're watching a movie here, like we know. We're not going to be like, hey, this if they put a bit of light in there, or they use the light creatively, or they put a different filter on to get a different effect or angle it a certain way. That we're not going to go, hey, wait a minute, this is a movie. I thought I was really in a haunted house. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's a conceit that we're watching a movie, therefore make it fun to look at.
Yeah,
and I think that's what they get. That's what they do really, really well in House.
Yeah,
is that it's even though it's mainly in one big house. There's so much going on, and it's so well made and so creative that you never go like, oh, here we are still in the house. You know, like there's always something going on.
Yeah. And saying about lighting as well, like this, a lot of it was done like daytime. Like you're outside in the day, like, and he's just out there with a shovel, just digging a grave, just gonna bury some body parts. In the middle of the day, oh look, a neighbor's coming over. Better kick this out of the way, like you know. But yeah, it's just a bit weird, especially for an '80s horror. An '80s horror, like you say, is quite dark. Like the Friday the 13th, like everything always takes place at night. Everything is really dark and hard to see. Oh, you're in the woods. Oh, you're in a cabin. But no, not this one. Like it's literally half of it. Well, all of it really. Like there's no real like scenes where it's I can't make this out. I can't see what's going on.
Yeah, it's like in a way it reminded me a little bit of Salem's Lot as well. Not Salem's Lot, sorry, no. Pet Cemetery. Cemetery, a little bit, just with the house kind of. It felt like it was the same house, but like the kid in peril bit maybe where where the kid's running and then gets nearly hit by the truck, and then obviously in this it's different.
Yeah,
the kid just disappears. So,
well, the kid don't die in this one.
No, it's true. Yeah.
You think he has?
Well, that's it. There's a lot of times we think really horrible stuff's happened, but I guess the movie saves us from feeling terrible about it because it goes, not really. She's fine. Yeah. But it's funny where he is like, he shoots her, and his neighbor's like, I'm worried my neighbor's gonna kill himself. He never wonders for a second that somebody else is in danger. He's just worried about Roger, like he's his absolute best friend in the world, guy he's met like a day ago or so. And it's like, what's going on? And the police come and they're just like, oh, hey, it's you, isn't it? Oh, well, yeah, just sat here cleaning my gun.
Yeah, I was just polishing it and it went off.
And you're just like, oh, well, that's safe. Is that something that happens in America all the time? People just sit in the front of their houses polishing their guns? Probably.
America.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, it don't take long before freaky stuff starts happening. Like he sees that monster in the closet, the mounted swordfish. It comes to life, and he also gets chased by some garden tools around the house, and he runs into the shed? No, the bathroom. He's also confronted by a big ugly creature, which he then chops up and buries in the back garden. Yes. But by this point, we've already met his neighbor Harold. He's a big fan, and yeah, at first he thought he was going crazy, but then he witnessed it himself firsthand. And he got very scared.
Well, you can definitely tell that that he's a writer and not a landscape gardener. When he buries things, he leaves like a massive lump about like a half a meter above the surface.
Yeah, and lots of them.
Yeah, he's
Mound
not
here,
like
mound here, mound there.
is he just fed up of digging? Is he just like that'll do? You know?
Yeah, I'm gonna put the hand all the way over here, the foot all the way over here.
I wonder if that's because it's on a stage or something, and you can only dig so deep, and then it's just like the floor.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but I've got to say, like the looks and the designs of all the different kinds of monsters, and the way they sound specifically as well, like they're very high pitch, giggly, like almost like childlike voices.
Yeah,
There's something in this era of comedy horror, like I was saying earlier, is so unique for that very specific moment in time where you get like gremlins, critters, ghoulies, troll. They all have that similar feel, and I don't really know how to put my finger on it. They do, and it's really hard to replicate that nowadays. Would you agree?
Oh yeah. I think it is. I think it is. It is, and isn't. I think obviously there's people who go and study with, like say Brent Baker, who did a lot of the creature effects on this. He was also on Gremlins and Gremlins 2, and you know, you've got that kind of Stan Winston group of people. I feel like there are people who go and learn from them, but then I never seem to see that very much in any films that are there's like Frankie Frico and PG Gorman, what's it called, Psycho Gorman, and things like that. But that's where they're trying to deliberately do something and make it look like the 80s. I think that like the key to it would be to do that now, but not have it as like an 80s set or 80s reference thing. Just be like, these are really cool, interesting designs, and we're putting them in our film.
Yeah,
like maybe you know, are we just doomed to have AI generated stuff now? Which is a real shame, because you're going to miss out on some like squishiness and tangibility and interesting creativity. Like when we watched Basket Case 2 last episode, it was like those creatures, talking about the creatures was the most fun.
Yeah, and that's why I know I always say it, but that's why I always stand by practical effects over CGI and AI nowadays. But because it's so, I don't even know how to explain it. But like, even if people do practical effects nowadays, it's like they try and outdo and see how scary they can make something. They overdo like how scary you can do it, when sometimes, like, I mean, specifically for comedy horrors from the 80s, you didn't need to go over the top scary. You just gotta I don't know, you just gotta go with it. Like,
or maybe like there's no like iconic ones where they just do 1 or 2 or 3 things. They do like 50 things, and you're just like, it's like, I guess it's a bit like the Marvel Aliens, and there was one Marvel thing I watched, and I can't remember, the Ant-Man one, and he goes into space and he meets all these incredible, weird and wonderful creatures. And I remember thinking, oh, that's interesting. Then it's gone 3 seconds later, and I never saw it again.
Yeah.
Like you can picture a gremlin, you can picture a critter, or the monster from Terrorvision, or Belial, or even some of Belial's, because they weren't making a multi-billion-dollar movie or whatever.
Yeah,
they were like, we've made 6 creatures. You know, we've made 6 creatures, and they're all really, really fun to look at.
I don't know. I was just trying to find a picture out of this box set that I got. But like this one, it's not over the top. It's just so fun to look at. That guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Totally.
Yeah, like a great big mouth, really weird eyes. Just you don't have to have really sharp
like
teeth.
Split screen of me. The split screen of me and the monster are identical. But like, there's so many great ones like that. Even in films that weren't horror films, you had the memorable creatures in like things like Flight of the Navigator and and just the way things were designed, even in big budget ones, all the way into the 90s, you had some good practical effects in things like Batman Returns, all the Penguin stuff. And, it's maybe some, I think maybe some are going back that way to a certain degree. And then others will just lean into, I think, I just watched the new Superman and they're like there was a real dog, but it was a scanned version of a real dog, obviously, so he could do super stuff. So maybe it'll be a bit of that where they scan things and they scan them so well that they look real. But even then, maybe the likes of you and I might watch it and go, it doesn't look real.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Like The Thing and stuff like that wouldn't be as impactful if it didn't feel as squishy and bloody.
No.
Even though you look at it and in your mind, it's rubber.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter because it's still scary. Like it's all still interesting to look at, engaging.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just because of the fact that you feel you could really touch it, and that's all it comes down to.
Yeah.
If you look,
that is the thick of it.
Yeah. If you look at a film and you go, I'm not scared of that because it's not real, like instantly, because it's not gonna touch me.
Yeah.
But that could touch me, like someone could throw that at me.
Right. So where are we? They learn that the house is connected to a dark dimension of ghosts and monsters, and that Jimmy, which is his son, he's being held captive there. So Roger then breaks the bathroom mirror to go through the portal and rescue Jimmy. But upon their return, they're confronted by a hideous, rotted, dead Ben, who explains, he explains that he took Jimmy as revenge for abandoning him in Vietnam. They fight throughout the house until Roger shoves a grenade in Ben's ribs, and then he blows him and the house to pieces. Boom. The end.
That's it. And that's why we built the set. So we blow it up at the end.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I guess it does get more serious towards the end when you get that bit. Do you think it goes on a little bit? The bit with Ben at the end?
Well, there's a bit where you think that's it and he's done, and then he comes back, doesn't he?
Yeah.
The argument, I suppose, is that he doesn't have to come back. And I get it. I mean, it's only, even though Ben does come back, it's still only just over an hour and a half.
Yeah. I mean, I watched this, obviously. I watched this when I was really young, so I think a lot of this was a bit beyond me. I just kind of like, I wasn't reading into it that much. So when looking back on it now and reading the plot for it, it does, it's a good story. Well, I like it, but I didn't know that it was like a different dark dimension and Jimmy was like in this other portal place and he has to go in and rescue him and put him out. Yeah. It was just weird. Watching it younger, I thought, he just goes through the mirror and gets his kid back.
Well, I think I watched it in my 20s and I watched it again.
Yeah.
Recently, and I was like, okay, there's more to it than I thought. So maybe I just watched it on the surface. Maybe everybody watches it like a kind of surface level the first time they watch it. But there was, I thought, number one, it was a lot of fun. So that's the most important thing. More fun than I remembered it being. Number two, the characters were really interesting. And I also really like that idea of like a horror writer being a character in a horror film. Whether it's Misery or In the Mouth of Madness is one of my favorites that does that. That's the whole concept of the story, is like that this writer's books make people behave a certain way. So like I love all that kind of intertextuality of it, where you've got like horror writers and people writing horror about horror writers. And it's like there's a love for it. But I think that's what you do get from Fred Dekker is because obviously in like Monster Squad he's writing about Dracula and he's writing about things like that, and in Night of the not Night of the Demons, is it? It's Night of the I always get Night of the Demons, Night of the Comet. I get them all mixed up, all the different nights of. That's what the only one I can remember properly is Night of the Living Dead. But that even with that one, he's referencing old B movies. So there's like a love of horror that comes through in this film, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
So like maybe that's what the difference is. That's what makes it a little bit above other films at the time. This was, like you said, there's a good period of film for creature effects and fun comedy horrors, and just horror in general was on a real upward trajectory, wasn't it?
Yeah. Mid 80s for a period in time for horrors. It's got to be
You could probably trace it all the way through to maybe like the fourth or fifth Freddy, when people stopped caring as much and it became a bit more niche. And now I would say then we had the sort of the 2000s. I Know What You Did Last Summers and Screams and stuff peak. And now I think horror is as mainstream as it's ever been.
Yeah.
It's like not embarrassing to be a horror fan. Like it's not a secret to be a horror fan or whatever people might think. It's like people are almost like just you're a weirdo if you don't like horror rather than you're a weirdo if you do.
So rating this one 1 to 10, how many what should we do, grenades in the ribs could you give it?
We're gonna do how many fish.
I was thinking about flapping dead fish on the wall.
I'm gonna go, and initially going into this, my preconception was I was going to give it 6 because I was like, I remember it last time, it was okay, but I'm actually going to give it 7.5.
Ooh, 7.5.
Very close to going for 8. I put my Letterboxd scores online, and somebody commented, "You put House too low." I gave it 3 stars out of 5. So I moved it up to 3.5. Not because of the person, but because I actually agreed with them. I was like, actually, it's better than a 3 out of 5 movie. It's 3.5 at least. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I am gonna give this an 8, but that is, like I said in the beginning, this is a very nostalgic filled movie for me. It's another one of those 80s comedy horrors that I just absolutely love. I mean, I really appreciate movies like this that experiment with stuff, because this could have been a disaster movie, but instead it was so fun. Like, it was really good. Like all the other 80s comedy horrors, like Gremlins and Critters and Ghoulies, even the ones we've done recently, like Evil Dead 2, that was mid 80s, and that was quite a fun horror. Reanimated, like you said, Killer Clowns from Outer Space, I believe.
We never even mentioned Evil Dead, did we?
Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna give it a solid 8 out of 10.
Nice. I thought it was one of your like favorites, and I was like, maybe that's why I gave it a bit more of a go than because sometimes when you get it in your head about a film, you kind of stick with it, don't you? But I'm glad I gave it another go. I might watch all the others as well, even though I know I didn't like them last time. But
yeah,
why not?
I mean, it's been years since I watched the others, so maybe I'll give them a go as well.
Yeah,
I might do that tonight. I'll watch House 2. Fine.
Well, I just had a look earlier on. I've got like an Arrow free 7-day thing, and they're on all of the House films are on Arrow on Arrow channel at the moment. So I might.
All the houses.
Yeah, I'll watch 4 houses in a row.
Would it be houses?
Houses.
That'd be the right way to say it. The houses.
I think in America they'd probably say houses. I don't know. Or maybe it's the other way around.
If you're referring to House 1, 2, 3, and 4, is it Houses.
Houses. I think I'd say houses, but I don't know. Houses.
Okay. So excuse me. Wrapping up. Next episode, we are going to do I Know What You Did Last Summer.
No, you don't.
Oh, I thought I did.
What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? Let me spin around in my chair. What are you waiting for?
Yeah. So yeah, because
find out
the new movie. I don't know if it's out yet or it's coming out.
From when we're recording this, it's coming out in 2 days.
Oh, right. Okay. So yeah, so that's going out. So I thought, yeah, it would be fun to take a look at the original, the 90s teen slasher.
I only watched it on VHS from the Blockbuster.
Hey.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's one that I've always kind of like stayed away from because I've always stood by Scream, and I don't know if it's just me, but I always feel like they were competing. Like,
well, I mean, they're both written by the same guy, so we're putting money in Kevin Williamson's pocket with either of them. So I'm sure he wouldn't mind if you watched it.
Yeah.
I'm sure Wes Craven couldn't give a shit.
Were they done like in? They were like near enough back to back, I think, weren't they?
Pretty much, yeah. Like, what are we talking? 96 Scream, was it 97? 97 was I Know What You Did Last Summer. Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It's one of those where I think this is a weird one. I was really into Urban Legend, the first Urban Legend, and I was really into Dawson's Creek. So obviously I watched anything that Kevin Williamson did. He did a film called Teaching Mrs. Tingle or Tringle that was that you know, which kind of that was when his writing career draws off. But like these two, like Scream and I Know What You Did Last Summer, he had the world at his feet because they were both so popular. I just think that this doesn't. I mean, I don't know. We'll give it a chance. We'll watch it again, just like I did with House. But I just seem to remember, this is just initial thoughts. Obviously, it might change my mind. That there just wasn't much about it.
Yeah,
like there wasn't really anything. Like it's not like a sorority based slasher that's a lot of fun. You know, like Slumber Party Massacre or anything like that. And it didn't, and I don't seem to remember it having any, even like the gore of Scream. So I don't know whether it was made for a slightly younger audience. I remember seeing the sequel at the cinema, and I can remember nothing about it whatsoever.
Well, I still Know What You Did Last Summer.
Yeah. And then there was a standalone one, I'll Always Know What You Did Last Summer.
Always.
And then a TV series. But then this one is what we would call, the new one is called what we would call like a legacy sequel.
So is that yeah, I know absolutely nothing about this new art. Like, I've kind of like avoid even watching the trailer. I kind of guessed it would be a remake. Is it?
So no, it's like one of these legacy sequels where we ignore all the shit that's gone on in between the first one and this one. So essentially, from the trailer, Jennifer Love Hewitt pops up and Freddie Prinze Jr. pops up, and they reference the events of the first one, the legacy side of the sequel, and then this new cast of characters, probably most of whom we'll have never hear of again or afterwards or before, they will be taking over. So I don't know. We'll wait and see. I don't even know if the new one's written by Kevin Williamson.
Well, yeah,
he's doing Scream, isn't he? He's doing Scream at the moment. So
yeah. Well, I mean, I didn't really enjoy it. I'll save all my proper reviews for the next one. But basically, I didn't like it because I loved Scream. I always stood by Scream. So I never really gave it a chance, and I don't think I even bothered with all the sequels. But every time one was coming out, I'm thinking, well, surely they're all dead, aren't they? How can he still know what they did last summer? Like,
don't forget, I still know what you did 2 summers ago.
yeah. Oh, I don't know.
Do you? Okay. Yeah, because this new one, I don't have a lot of hope for it because it's got nothing to do with Kevin Williamson. Meanwhile, he's directing Scream 7.
Mm.
And like, I'm a bit more excited about Scream 7 than I am about the new I Know What You Did Last Summer. However, I want to watch I Know What You Did Last Summer, but obviously it's clouded with hot when you're watching it in 97. So how old would I have been in 97? Oh geez. So, I'd have been like 18. So I'm watching a Jennifer Love Hewitt film when I'm 18. So definitely there's some hormone clouded, and Sarah Michelle Gellar is in it as well. So there's definitely some hormone clouding going on where I probably thought it was worth watching. Yeah. For that reason only.
But Scream had Courtney Cox and Nev Campbell.
Yeah, but still, I think in terms of just aesthetic value, that's the only thing that this film has over it.
Okay, all right, that's enough for this episode. So, shall I see us out?
Yeah, I'm just waving. I'm off camera waving.
Right, so if you've liked today's episode, don't forget to subscribe. We love hearing from you, so why don't you drop a comment down below with your own personal ratings from 1 to 10. Grenades in the ribs. Yeah, that's a wrap for today. Thanks a lot for listening, and we'll see you in I Know What You Did Last Summer.
We all go a little mad sometimes.
This is my boom